And welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. I don't know how I get myself involved with certain people. This gentleman next to me, I'm really not happy with him because he has the energy to do things that I can't do. With me is Matt from Vero Beach Volleyball. How you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you.
Okay, I could barely walk from here to my car. How do you do it?
It's amazing what the body gets used to.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a little bit of, the more you do something, a little more acclimated you get, and then it just becomes your normal every day.
I eat, but it's like next second nature to me. Okay, so Vero Beach Volleyball. How long are you doing it?
We've been there for a little over 7 years.
Why? Why did you get into doing that?
Well, it's kind of a crazy story. I grew up playing sports of all kinds. I played soccer in college. When I was at Stetson, we were going out to the beach all the time, and there was beach volleyball, and it just looked pretty alluring. And I kind of got involved and started playing, and it's a kind of a lucky happening where I just kept grinding and moving up different levels, and I ended up playing professionally. And then when career was all done, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm going to start selling real estate and move on with my life. New things or, futures holds different things. And it became a college sport for girls. And at that point, there became a need for coaching, and kind of found myself falling into the coach's role.
Well, you know the industry, you know the game, so obviously, the only thing I deal with sports-wise, per se, in my world, was baseball. And what happens is you play baseball, then you become a coach. You don't become a coach because you don't know the game.
Exactly. And I have had the good fortune of tons and tons of experience, and my connections. I played professionally, both domestically and internationally. Oh. And then when I was looking for a place to start my own business and coach and all this stuff, I wanted something with proximity to Disney.
Okay.
And on the East Coast, because we do bring internationals in for different events and whatnot.
You don't just bring internationals, you bring celebrities in the industry.
Yeah, celebrities in the industry, yes. Yeah, we've got, we bring a bunch of them in. My old roommates actually were Nick Lucena and Phil Dahlhauser. And then Adam Roberts, he put us all together in this house in South Carolina. And they went on to be Olympians. One of them has got a gold medal. Phil.
Oh, wow.
Got a gold medal in Beijing. So they come in and do clinics now in little old Vero.
Okay, so you mentioned that you did real estate. You still doing real estate?
I'm not. This is a full-time.
And you know what? I've been in real estate 35 years. And when I started here, because it's a full-time thing, I don't really have time to do real estate.
Right.
So, and I do love real estate. You guys know my favorite things to talk about here are real estate and food. Okay. Clients that bring in food, they become my heroes.
See, I didn't know. I should know. I like food too.
Okay,
I
so
eat it every day.
You start this about 8 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
What was the plan? I mean, was the plan to grow it the way it's grown, or was the plan to just keep it at a low level and stay doing real estate or whatever?
Well, no, I was all in once because I kind of committed everything and threw all my cards into that hat, and really was like, man, I hope this works. I hope people want to learn how to play volleyball. And fortunately, it has. So we see it growing. The sport itself is growing. And now, last year was the first year that it was actually an official high school sport in the state of Florida.
Oh, really?
Yep. So there's 3 states currently in the whole country: Florida, Arizona, and California.
Okay, so hold on. Volleyball, beach volleyball, are they different?
They are different.
In what aspect?
Well, obviously the surface.
Yeah,
one is inside with air conditioning, one is out in the sand, and also you play on a little smaller court, and you play 2-on-2 rather than 6-on-6.
In beach?
In beach is, so it's just 2-on-2.
Okay, because it's a small area?
Well, it's slightly smaller. It's just a little bit more. I like beach over indoor just because you're involved in every play. So
because it's smaller, 2-on-2.
It's all in 2-on-2, so it's just you and your partner out there against the world, which I kind of.
Okay, so
appeals to me.
forgetting that part of it, what about the surface? Playing on the sand, plus playing on a hard surface. I guess
Right.
the sand is harder to play on.
Sand is definitely more difficult to move in, and one of the things that I like to tell everybody, whether you like indoor or beach, like if you're playing in the beach and in the sand, it's going to make your indoor game better. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So we have a lot of players that come and they cross train with us, but their primary focus is indoor. So
I guess if you're playing in the sand, you can do those dives and stuff.
well, you can dive, and also like it's so hard to move and jump out of it. You know what I mean? And when you go inside, you're like, man, I'm so fast. And I can jump so high. You know, it's like it's a little bit different.
Who's your clientele?
Well, anybody that wants to learn how to play, we have it. Also, our leagues are starting to expand and grow as well. So we offer adult programming a couple nights a week where if you ever played at a barbecue or a picnic, come
out
see
and
us.
play.
Yeah.
So
4
really,
on 4.
I would consider those the beginners.
Yeah, that's more of a recreational league, and then we have kids that are, on our Sandy Feet program is those that are just getting their toes in the sand and never played before, and then we've got
What age?
6 to 8.
Okay.
They're pretty young. We got a low net. We get some light volleyballs. They're
Okay, I'm only 5'2", so low net works for me. Low net works
yeah,
for me.
it's perfect. Yeah, and all the way through. Actually, we have pros and stuff as well. I've coached.
Height is an advantage in the game, I would think.
It is. And that's another big difference between indoor and beach. And what I like to tell people, indoor, it's a lot about how tall you are. And on the beach, it's about how hard you work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so...
All right, so someone wants to learn how to play. I'm going to use the words they want to learn how to play. So look. Everybody can go out with a bat and hit a ball, but they don't know the rules of the game and the little nuances of the game.
Correct.
I'm going to guess that volleyball has nuances to it also and tricks that make you a better player.
They definitely do, and that's another, again, difference in the two games. Like, you see a lot of people's prime in beach later. Like, in their careers, they're around 30, 35, because it's such a cerebral game. Because there's two of you, it becomes more or less a chess match.
I'm guessing when you play on the beach, you and your partner really have to be in tune with one another.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So is there prep? Do you teach them prep work before they get on the court?
Absolutely. So the style that we coach and teach a lot of our kids is kind of like I refer to it as a plug and play. You know what I mean? Like they'd be able to plug in with different partners because we're very, very detail oriented and fundamental oriented. So they're doing the things we're asking them to do. They should be able to play with a variety of different people.
Okay. So this is always my favorite time because I get to put you on the spot.
Perfect.
Who's easier to teach, girls or guys?
Oh, easier? That's a tough question. They're both very different.
Okay.
And I in fact, because my whole background was playing with and against guys, and then when I started teaching girls, I had to start reading books on how to, how to just identify with them, and they're very different. I say I predominantly coach girls right now. That makes up a big percentage of what I do, but getting out there in the sand with the boys is a little bit more fun. But the boys, they always want to kind of beat their chest and show, oh, I can do that. Yeah, coach, I got that. And then they're like, wait, how do you do it? and then the girls want to know, well, my pinky should be where when I'm trying to do this? You know what I mean? It's like,
they're going to get in trouble now.
I need to, oh, no, they know. How does this, before they even attempt it. So it's just two very different approaches. And I'm not going to say one is better than the other. It's just the difference between guys and girls.
We were talking before we got on there about a show called Royal Pains.
Yes.
And in there they have a beach volleyball segment. And I don't want to say that it looked like the girls played harder than the guys, because it looked like, and I could be wrong, but it looks like the guys play for ego and the girls play for the game.
You know, and it's pretty evident in training styles too. So when I played professionally, we would set up our court and we'd practice out in California. And if you guys have ever been out there and you've ever seen that, it's just like rows and rows of courts. Well, you have professional practices of guys here and then girls, guys, girls, kind of staggered. And the girls would take, in a 3-hour practice, 2 hours, 2.5 hours of drills. where they were just trying to perfect one thing and they're working on it the entire time. And the guys, we did like 30 minutes of like a warm-up drill, and then we got into something where it's competitive and game-like immediately, right? Like we just want to get out there and beat each other's heads in. So,
and that's why I'd ask you who's easy to deal with, because I filmed a lot of women empowerment groups and stuff, and it's really interesting because you can put 100 women in a room, all in the same industry, and they'll empower one another.
Exactly.
You could put 2 men in a room and there's an argument and a fight.
Well,
So,
that was one of the things, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's fine.
and one of the lessons I took, it was kind of important, where they say girls bond, or what are they? Sorry, girls bond to battle, and guys battle to bond. So it was like one of those things where that's one of the things where I tried to unify the women and the girls, and let's say try to achieve this as a group, where the guys were, which one of you is going to get this first?
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So it's a little different.
So, the years that you played, did they prepare you for coaching?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
it's kind of remarkable, my history. Like when we discussed selling real estate, I was doing it and I was all right with it, but I didn't really have a passion for it. And then when I started coaching, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been preparing for this my whole life. Because the first time I was a coach was I was probably 13, 14, but I was coaching soccer at the time. And then just the path that we took when we were playing, like we didn't have a ton of coaches during that period, so we had to figure a lot of the stuff out ourselves. So that just meant that now, when I'm going to do what I'm doing now, well, I know the reason why we were doing all that stuff before, and it just kind of really was a stepping stone to where we are. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's just go back, because we're going to run out of time. Let's
Okay.
go back to the younger people that come and join, okay? Do you feel like you become their mentors?
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy.
Okay.
How big of a bond they're almost like my kids. You know what I mean?
And yeah, that's pretty interesting. Like your girlfriend's kid, because you can't have any sweets for this month.
Oh, right.
But that's a whole nother story. And that's a whole nother show.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
But does your girlfriend play?
You know, she started to play
Okay.
since we met, and then actually her 6-year-old's out there in one of our classes now too. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
All right. How many people are usually in a class?
It depends on the class. We usually keep an 8-to-1 ratio of 8 athletes to 1 coach.
How many coaches you got?
We've got 5 coaches. So
All right. So I call you up and I say, hey, you know what? I want to play, but you know what? I'm older, blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to play professionally. I want to play because I want to enjoy the game. Is there classes that you set
absolutely.
up for people?
You know what's really kind of remarkable is we have what we call I call it just my mom's group, or my mom's class.
Be me.
Yeah. And, but it's just a bunch of moms that were like, oh my gosh, my girls are having so much fun. I want to try it. So we do it once a week. And
Oh, that's
I've learned more about coaching from our mom's class than I have ever, because it's not about winning and losing in that at all. It's
Right.
just about who's having the most fun and how much improvements they have. And like really just the whole vibe is different, and it's amazing.
right, because
super great.
it's not the killer instinct.
It's not. It's like my first day, they had this big rally, and the team that lost it was like, oh my God, you did so good. And that was like completely foreign to me, because I felt like, wait, you just lost. How's that?
Okay. We have to have more time. How do people find you? You have a website or a phone number?
I do. We're Beach Volleyball FL, like Beach Volleyball Florida.
.com.
And then the cell phone numbers, area code 843-267-3378.
Matt, it's a pleasure having you on. Really kind of interesting, because it just so happens that I've just passed that segment on Royal Pains about the volleyball.
Right.
And I don't even know if I passed it. I think I might still be in it, because there are sports things within it. There's a tennis piece in there and stuff. But I think I just passed the sports thing and the volleyball thing. And it's women's volleyball. And it was really kind of interesting how because there was something wrong with her, and I can't remember what it was, but how important it was for her to grow from here. She was being, for lack of a better word, promoted into a higher level of playing. And she was afraid that she would lose out on that. And I want you guys to know that volleyball, whether it be beach or indoor, is a sport.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It's not surely it's for fun, but it is a sport, and it is part of the Olympics.
It has been, yes. Yep.
Okay, so if you want to go out and have a good time, you got to touch base with Matt. If you want to go out and have that killer instinct, you definitely want to touch base with Matt. Matt, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Guys, we'll be right back.